Hey, this is Josh Hewitt, and earlier today I just had my first ever experience with DMT, which is the extract from Ayahuasca. And I wanted to just document my experience a little bit while it's still fresh in my head, because it was an incredibly intense and overwhelming experience, which I'm still processing. And I think there's a lot of learning to be had in it, and I wanted to document it right now so that I can look back on this and sort of glean some benefits and learning from it down the road as well. So basically I went to a woman who described herself as a neo-shaman, basically someone who helped to guide people through their experience with the medicine. And this was a really good idea. In hindsight, I would not have wanted to go through this experience without some sort of guidance. It was well beyond anything I could have possibly expected, and I've watched documentaries on DMT, and I have, experimented slightly with mushrooms a little bit, and mostly with the intent of having an experience of enlightenment or of increased awareness. I go in with a purpose and an intent, so I definitely wasn't doing this for like a psychedelic trip of some kind. I've been on a journey of self-discovery and personal development for a number of years, and this was something that was recommended to me by a number of people, and with things lined up, synchronicity, I just happened to connect with someone who knew about this person, and it lined up, and it was a very positive experience. So anyway, the nice thing about this was there was a lot of pre-work going before I tried the DMT, with meditation and talking about what intent and what purpose you wanted to get out of it, and what was your goal from the experience. And that was really beneficial, put me in a real place of being open to gleaning something positive out of it. She did a little bit of work with chakras and breathing exercises and stuff. She gave me some feedback on where my energies seemed to be from her perspective, and a lot of that, she said, was a lot of energy with my throat chakra, or around here, which she says whatever I'm passionate about or whatever learning I have or what I'm doing, if I could express it to others or share it verbally or talk about my experiences, that could help people. And that sort of resonated with my past interest in public speaking and courses I've taken in public speaking. I've sort of let that go. And if you can find your passion and sort of really connect with yourself and really bring that, be really authentic and bring that out, that would be an area that could serve others and really be rewarding for me as well. So that's something I would think about as well. Going into the experience, you breathe it in through a glass pipe, and I took very deep breaths. I only remember taking 3, apparently I did 4 or 5, and her face started to shimmer and sort of change shape, or at least lose structure, as I was talking to her. She's encouraging me to take another breath, and I just sort of saw colors, and then I heard her voice, but her lips weren't moving, and then she sort of blended into the surroundings. And I remember I was kind of trying to breathe in one more time, and she had there was an eye cover, so I didn't have to be distracted by what was in the room, which was a really great idea because it was such a visual experience. I remember drifting off from there, or drifting up. I could start to see the sort of imagery and geometric shapes sort of appearing, and everything becoming very colorful. And then I put the eye mask on her. She helped me with that, and I was on my way. And it was incredibly, like I said, overwhelming. It was just such an intense experience going into this, as I felt myself sort of being pulled upwards through my body and my chest and into my head. And then I felt like I was just sort of starting to just be pulled upwards out of me, and I could see I remember this very vividly going into it, like a funnel or a tunnel, or a cylinder going upwards with all sorts of intense colors and shapes, and just it's hard to describe as it's more of like a feeling, it's a sensation. It's like experiencing it, not just seeing it. But it was just so much, and it was like so hard for me to like interpret what I was seeing or integrate it, that I kind of felt a little freaked out initially. But I remember telling myself, like I knew it was just happening. There's nothing going to stop it. And so I remember telling myself, it's okay, I wanted this, it's for my good. And then I took a breath, and I was up, completely out of my body, like no awareness of the room or my physical surroundings. Just a little bit of thoughts. I remember myself telling myself again, it's okay. And then it started to feel, to sort of reassure myself, because it was just too much. And then I remember hearing that and thinking, yeah, it is okay. And in a bigger sense, like everything is okay. Like there's nothing to worry about. Ultimately, in the bigger picture, like in life, we are in an abundant universe that's just taking care of us. And it felt like as I was going up this funnel with all these colors, it was almost like all these geometric shapes and colors. It was so much, like I keep saying overwhelming. I don't know how to describe it otherwise, but it was almost like eyes also built into those shapes. But I got a sense that these were like they're entities or life forms, or like the universal consciousness was just all in there in this funnel and helping to like guide me and pull me up and show me things. And I sort of felt like I was connecting with everything. And that's sort of what happened next was, and so as opposed to me observing this, I became part of it. And there was no sense of me anymore. I didn't feel like I was a body, I was Josh, I was doing this trip or anything like that. I was just within this vast energy and consciousness, and it was just incredible. It was like very intense, but it was also very like liberating and comforting. But because it was so much more than I'd ever experienced, I had no way I could prepare for what I was experiencing. I felt a little like apprehensive, and I remember hearing her voice in the distance saying, "Deep breathe, deep," because I guess I was like sort of resisting a little bit. And then, so I took a breath. I thought I was taking a deep breath, and I wasn't. And then I managed to get a deep breath in, and it felt like it went forever. It was like, and as it just kept inflating, and my chest felt like it was just opening up, and all this energy was flowing through it. And then all of a sudden, I went to this next level. And that's where I don't completely remember all of the parts, like when I was really deep in there. It's like when you have a dream, a very like vivid, intense, awesome dream, and you know it was just amazing, and you wake up and you remember bits and pieces of it, and you're going through your day, you're kind of like, oh, what was that? I knew there was something around, what was that? And you can't quite remember the experience totally. You just have this sense like it was just so amazing. I really remember that going into the experience and going up that tunnel and funnel that sort of kept expanding. It's almost like it would let me see what I was ready to see, and then as I kind of dipped into it, it would open more. It was containing me, or sort of, comforting me up through that experience as I went higher and saw more and more, and then opened me up to a next level, which maybe I just, because I can't interpret it or integrate it, when I came back to consciousness, I just kind of remember a feeling of it, and I can't describe it. I still have a taste in my mouth of what it was, but I really remember going into it and then coming out of it, just as it's drifting off, which was still incredibly intense, but nothing like when I was in it. So the couple of things I do remember, well, it was right in the thick of it, of the experience. I think partly because she cued me to breathe once or twice, and because I was saying, I remember, thank you at one point. I was tearing up, and It's just so much, and I was letting myself go a little bit into it, just like, this is okay, it's for my good, it's so much, but I want to experience it. And I was saying thank you. I could hear my voice saying that over and over, and it was just felt so good to just say that. And that is one thing I took out of it, is how important gratitude is. Like, one big thing out of that experience is just being grateful, being thankful is so powerful. If we could just remember to focus on that when all the shit hits us and we get caught up in the little things that don't matter. A big relationship with breathing, and really that deep breathing in through the chest seemed to, whenever I managed to take a deep breath, I really felt this expansiveness. It was incredible. But definitely a big connectivity with the universal, like universal consciousness. I felt like I was part of it. It was really clear that I had access to everything that is here, everything that is part of our universe. I am part of it as well, and I could have access to all of that knowledge and power and energy and vibrancy anytime we want, as long as we only cut ourselves off from our like preconceived notions and whatnot. And if we allow ourselves to stay connected, it's there. We can even access it in our meat bodies. Another thing I remember is, I know every now and then I would rock back in the couch and I opened my chest and my head would lightly touch the wall, and I would kind of get a feeling of, oh, I'm still a person. Other than that, there was no sense of me being Josh or male or female or a human or anything. It was just part of this energy, experiencing this sensation and universe that I've never seen or experienced in that way before. It was very visual for sure, but it's not something I can describe like, oh, I saw this, and a voice told me to do this. It was just like in your essence, it's happening in your core, and like apparently it affects your pineal as well, your pineal gland, so like a very experiential thing, mentally, spiritually, physically. But it definitely changed me, I feel like, in a positive way. I do remember also moving my head, and it reminded me when I came out of it, the woman who has helped guide me did say that it looked as though like something else was like moving my head from side to side, to like, she interpreted it as like to see something or to look at something. For me, that when she mentioned it, I was like, oh, I do remember sort of feeling like I was being pulled back and forth or moving from side to side rather rapidly. And I sort of remember vaguely going into, like through this funnel, going into certain tunnels or funnels or outside of that, or delving into one area and then coming back and looking down another area and seeing different elements of what was there. And coming afterwards, reflecting too, I had some thoughts about how connected we all are, but also how there's a sort of a duality, like there's a male, female, a yin, a yang, a dark, a light. There's all these fluctuations, but it's still all one. It's all part of the same essence. And so that may have been that back and forth that you have before you finally go through to like that higher enlightenment state where everything is one. It was this. I'm just describing as best I can with words. It's really indescribable. It was so incredible. It was almost too much for me to deal with, but when coming out of it, it was just so amazingly positive. And I know it was for my good. I really feel like it did something essentially positive to my brain and my body and like what I'm going to do moving forward. And I'm hoping that over the next few days and weeks, through meditating and positive sleep habits, good dreams, I can integrate a lot of what I learned and have something very practical come out of it too. But I do feel like it was just so much, but at some point I was like being sort of supported or carried by energy or beings or however you want to describe it, like sort of carried through and shown things. But I felt it was safe. There was a safe feeling. As I'm thinking about it now, part of me misses it. Like I wish I could go back and be in there with this, be part of it again. Although going into it was really, not really frightening, like it was overwhelming, it was just almost too much. But once I got to a point where I was in it and cruising, the other level, I have a sense that it was really, it was comfortable, like it belonged kind of feeling. And then coming out, I started to have more of a sense of my body, and I remember myself rubbing my legs and also up my chest, like I'm breathing and like, okay, I can sort of, I have a body again. I could feel my hands, and it was really surreal. Like, okay, I'm back in this plane. But I kept the mask on because I was still having all this imagery. And then she was talking to me like, oh, what were you experiencing? What are you seeing? What do you think? And I could start to hear her now. And so I was trying to describe that I was connected, and I know I was gesturing a lot while I was talking. Like, I'm still connected. I could still feel the flow through myself and through the top of my head up to the universe. And that energy going upwards and coming down. Like, I'm still one with everything. And there is no separateness. So I was like feeling, wow, this is just an illusion that we're this individual thing cut off from everyone else. It's not true. And I remember also this energy flowing through my chest, like this expansiveness through my rib cage, just opening up. And whether you call it love or just energy or flow or just your essence, just that was a big sensation I had. And then I remember her asking me to talk about my experience.
But take me through it, because this is your journey. I really want to know all those details, because these details are for you later. Yep. Yeah!
Oh my God!
This man's seen a double rainbow.
And I remember hearing this voice, not just a voice, like 1,000 voices, like a vibrating massive voice of like the universe basically just speaking into my head, like with words, but just so overwhelming and big. And I was speaking it as it was saying it into my head. It honestly did not feel like I was saying these words. And I feel it talking, and I'm saying it as it's coming out, like, we're all connected, I'm one with the universe, and this experience is for my benefit, but also for your benefit. I'm talking to the person that was there, guiding me, even though I had the mask on. I was like speaking to her, and I was like gesturing, and like, we're so expansive and connected, and it's all love. There's this big sense of we are loved, and that the essence of it, it's all like love. The energy is just based on love. It's a positive thing. And I'm speaking this and I'm hearing it, and I'm like, am I talking? Is this the universe talking, or is it me? And I remember she's answering me. So I was speaking, and she said, it's all the same thing. You're one with the universe. And I was like, that resonated so clearly. I was like, yes, I am one with the universe. And then I started laughing. I remember thinking, what? Now, oh my God, now that I know what this, how ridiculous it seemed to just worry about the little things we worry about, like whether an email got answered, or did you finish program, when was the video edited, how was your work done on time, and a deadline or a whatever. It just someone said something, or someone else got more results than you, and comparing yours, all that petty bullshit just it seemed just so obviously mundane and ridiculous to even waste any energy concerning yourself about. It was just so clear, and that was just like, what? Why would I ever stress on nothing, on these little nothings that the society or our programming tells us matter on any level, when there's so much more to us. And having come from that other perspective, and all of a sudden I just started laughing. I was like, it's so silly. Some of the stuff I was hoping to solve and get a better perspective on going in, looking back, is like that's not even the issue. This is like, now we got to look way past that. Like, what is a bigger picture? What do I ultimately want to do that's just going to be really meaningful with life, you know? But that's something I want to hang on to, because it's so easy to get caught up in the mundane bullshit of day-to-day routine, and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you don't do it. Some stuff you just do because it's getting you somewhere else you want to go, but don't worry about it. Don't stress. And if it doesn't get done then, or there's something more important, you know, just be in the moment. That was another big thing, is there is only, because there's that experience, there was no sense of time. It felt like I was there forever. And when coming out, I sort of be aware of, like, so how long was that? What happened? There was no time going on. The only time that really is this one moment that we're in. And that was another thing that just was so clear and obvious, that I can see how going through day to day and looking at clocks, you can sort of forget that and get caught up in this illusion of past, present, future, and we've got to get things done by this time and all that silliness. But then I was, at that moment, told myself, like, I command now my unconscious mind to let go of those limiting beliefs and like stop inhibiting me from really experiencing this fullness, and let me have this awareness and this experience. And then I realized, no, I'm not going to tell it and demand. And I immediately sort of shifted my approach, and I said, no, I want to love myself. It's my unconscious mind, my subconscious is part of me, and I know it's just there for my own good. It's trying to protect me. Like, it's afraid of new experiences. It wants to go with what it's been programmed and feels safe with. So I shifted to, I love you, I'll protect you, it's okay to let go now. And any new experiences I do, or anything we do outside of your comfort zone, is safe. And I'm here to guide you through, and you'll be open to new experiences and learning. So it's talking to my, your programming. So that was pretty interesting to sort of have that dialogue and just have it really clear, like, there's something in my physical body and brain wiring that may sort of hold you back from some of these bigger experiences, and it's doing it because it thinks it's, the right thing to do to keep you protected, but we don't need to fight it. We need to just allow it to let go. There's that big theme of allowing, letting go, and flowing, as opposed to fighting and forcing and struggling. And the thing about love, and also the thank you, the gratitude, being connected, we're all a universal consciousness, we're all part of it, and they're all having that flow that's always there. It was just so obvious, so clear. And after I had that conversation about it's okay for let my subconscious to just let go of those restraints a little bit, and I realized, we're connected, and then she was saying, that's right, you're part of the always, and I said, and then I felt like, I'm missing it. I'm starting to think a lot now and interpret it, and I was talking to her I was talking sort of through that voice, and then I sort of talked, my conscious mind, like, is that me talking, or am I back here now? And then I was like, no, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose that connection. I felt like, oh no, I'm going to drift away from that connectivity with everything. It's so empowering, and everything's there at your disposal to access that knowledge and power. And she reassured me, like, you can't get disconnected. You're always connected. It's just a matter of how aware you are of that or not. And that was very reassuring. I said, you're right. I'm connected. I'm a powerful being. I have that access to me at all times. And then I just felt this overwhelming feeling of how powerful I am. And I stood up. Stood up, put my arms out to the sides, palms open upwards, head back, chest open, and I just felt, I took a deep breath, and again, I felt that feeling like when I was right in the trips, opened up, and this is when I was coming out of it, and it was still such an incredible, intense experience. I just felt myself as if I had grown like 20 feet, become a giant. I felt myself expand bigger than the room, and I felt my physical body, but I also felt like there was like layers of energy surrounding me, like an aura of purple and red and like violet, creating like a bigger self to me too, and especially out through my chest and my head, but even around my arms, like all this energy, and and I felt just so powerful. And I think I even said, I have a recording of this experience too that I will work into this when I edit it. I believe I said,
God! Yeah! I felt so powerful.
and like, wow,
I'm still powerful. Yeah. Oh my God.
let it out and like laughing and just like, oh my God, all this power. And it was honestly like in the movies when you see a superhero get hit by a comet or radiation and turns into this superhero. That's what I honestly felt like. I became a super entity that just right there. And it was, I don't know how to describe it, like, I want that experience again really bad. Like, it was so powerful. I'm hungry for it. But I think I can reach that again through practicing and realizing, you know, essentially who we are. I'd like to relive that. But that was just really intense, incredible, awesome experience after. And even just for that part of it, it was worth it. Just to have, and just so real too. Like just stood up and then just grew. I literally grew, huge, tall, and like big, tall and big, and just energized, like just like energy pulsing out of me, especially out of my chest. And I thought I can do anything. I think with this power, I can motivate others, I can inspire others, I can help others change their lives. And then I was realizing, like, people would, if I was in this state, people would just follow me. I said I could also manipulate people and get people to do what I wanted, and on any level. And I sort of reflected on that. I was like, oh yeah, I could, if I could tap into this. And then I sort of decided in that moment, it's like, but I would choose to use it for, this sounds so cliche, like I choose to use my powers for good. But I was telling myself, I would choose to use this power for good. The source of this energy is love and connectivity. If you hurt others, you hurt yourself, ultimately. Also, that feeling when I was out here sort of also reaffirmed that, and I just, so much, I just like yelled it out. It just felt so good. It reminded me of when she said, like, your throat chakra has a lot of energy coming through there. And I was thinking, why is that? Because I have also a throat irritation, like, all the time. From, I broke my nose in a car accident and stuff, so I'm always, and I'm wondering if that's, now I'm trying to make connections, but if that's this energy, it's something unresolved that I want to get out. I need to release this energy that's pounded on. And whether that is public speaking again, or doing seminars, workshops, weekend, like doing something to motivate, inspire, help others on in a speaking level, or with my videos, my YouTube videos, or however I would choose to do that, my products, or my reaching others through video, through speaking, through groups, through group training, through maybe working with youth in schools, or through doing a radio show, or whatever it is. There may be something in there that I'm to take out of it, and I want to, whatever resonates with me, I'm going to be open to it. I'm going to look at that and move forward that way. And I realized that coming into any situation of difficulty or challenge, that if you came in with that presence about yourself and that realization of who you ultimately are and how much power you have inside you and how connected you are still to everything else in the universe, and you have access to that, nothing would faze you. You could go into any situation with ultimate confidence. People would be able to feel this and sense this if you attract others with positive energy to you. It would be a life changer. And with that came realization, kind of tied to the idea that I don't have to stress over this the little stuff, but that not to dwell on pettiness, that your experience is completely different from others. Even though they're all connected, we're all here. We chose to come into these physical bodies. This is our choice. And to have this physical experience and to pursue this physical reality and like follow our true heart's desires, and everyone else has that for themselves too. So why compare yourself to someone else? It does not make sense to compare yourself to someone else's journey and say, oh, they had more success in this area, or they have more money here, or that you're better than someone else. Like, oh, I have more than that person here, I'm in better shape than them. It doesn't make sense. You do your thing. Help others and be there as an example too, as far as pursuing your desire and your self-improvement, personal development, and don't compare. It's completely unrelated. The other thing I did feel after sort of settling in, and I've had that power experience, and I sat down, I started to really feel like I can be more grounded now. I'm coming in. I was so thankful of my body. Like here, coming back, took a moment. I was just touching my body and just thinking, oh my God, I love my body. I really love having this physical body to experience this physical world in. It's so awesome. And she was like, yeah, you chose to do this. It's like, make the most of it. And it just felt so good. Like I did kind of miss that connection. It's like, I always want to have that. And she reassured me it's always there. And I want this power to stay, like that feeling. It's like you can always, through practices and breathing and the meditation and continued experiences, you can always bring that there. It's there. It's free to access. You just have to let it come. And so then I was like, okay, I know that's it. I'm always, and then so then I just sort of thank God I have this. For however long, many years I have this body on the planet, I am so grateful for it. And it felt, I had no thoughts on flaws or I have to improve this or lose a little fat here. All that bullshit is just what a perfect body. How perfect and how lucky I am to be able to be in this and experience everything in this plane as well as that other. It just felt so great to come back into it. And as I settled in, I was just felt so elated. It was like the best of both worlds. I am all part of all that, but I get to experience this realm too, completely differently, which I wouldn't be able to have this otherwise. It was just, again, I'm trying to explain this and intellectually with words, and the experience is really beyond words. And the imagery was just, I'm hoping over the weeks following in my dreams and meditation, I'll have hints of it. When you remember bits of your dream, oh yeah, that happened. I'm hoping that comes because I really want to feel it again. But I had an option to do 2 trips with the DMT, and as positive as it was, I had to say I need some time. So I left it at 1. I'm going to let my body integrate it and interpret it. I'm going to continue to. Now it's become so clear how important quiet time is, and meditation, and time to reflect, just time to take breathing exercises, time to I have some binaural beats and the vision glasses with the lights, and time to spend time in nature, just quiet time to read and to do audio courses and to just continue to grow spiritually. Where it doesn't make sense not to make time for that. That's what's really important. Everything else falls into place. So getting stuff done and checking stuff off the list is really secondary. It's little to-dos in the physical plane that really come as a byproduct of what you're really about. I hope I caught most of that in this recording. I know it's long. This is something that maybe I can watch down the road when it sort of drifts off. I don't remember as clearly what happened, and reflect on it again, maybe from a different perspective. And I'm thinking in a few months to a year or so, when I've had a chance and I feel like I'm ready for it again, I would do this again, but I would always do it with a guide. I would go back to this same woman. And I would recommend her to anyone, obviously, too. But I'm definitely, I was worried that it would not be intense enough. That it would be a neat light show, but it wouldn't really give me a next level experience. But it was such a breakthrough on so many levels, way beyond anything I could have possibly imagined. That I was just so grateful for it, but I was not ready to do it again. I thought I need time. While I was going into it, I felt my body just letting go, and I was sure I was I was still a little conscious. I thought I for sure soiled myself. I probably wet myself and released it and everything, because I just felt my body just let go. And but then I thought, what, it doesn't matter. I'm with someone here who's helping me and done it before, so whatever happens, happens. And then I was just it's okay, I wanted this, and then I was gone. And body was not a matter anymore. Still thinking about it is just there's nothing nothing I can compare it to in my physical experience. Nothing. Now, if I do go back, I will have an idea of sort of what to expect, and I would expect probably to go to another level. And I'm hoping that as my mind is more acclimatized to this and ready for it, and I've grown, that I will remember more, that I'll take more back with me, and I'll go to different levels of awareness and clarity of purpose, and sort of more in touch with what my true heart's desire is, and really make it just so obvious that how powerful we are and how connected we are. So anyway, for anyone I'm sharing this with, I hope you found this interesting, and I hope it gives you some insight into potentially trying this medicine yourself. Again, do not tread lightly. I recommend being prepared for it. I also recommend going in with a real purpose and intention, not just for a trip or a psychedelic experience, because it could be a little much. And I recommend going with a guide and not just getting some and doing it at home. This is the biggest, most intense life experience, the most overwhelming experience in my life to date. That's saying something. Anyway, much love to you all. Anyone watching, remember how powerful you are and continue moving forward and growing as a person.
Oh my god. Oh, that was something different.
You definitely had some immediate awakenings come through. You went through gate after gate after gate.
Oh. Woo!
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was a very positive experience.